What if the answers you're searching for are already within you? Here at Richer Within, we believe they are, and we're here to help you discover them. I'm Kathryn, joined by Dynamo Dr. Pat. Together, we blend science and spirituality to guide you in reconnecting with your inner wisdom and unique magnificence. Tune in for inspiring stories and practical strategies to boost clarity, embrace your worth, and spark meaningful change. Ready to unlock your inner wealth? Start your transformation now.
Morning, the show that Kathryn and I are about to do right now. And it's called Stardust and Heartbeats. And Stardust was my mom's favorite song. Now, this is way like, I don't know, like how many million years ago, but it is a beautiful, beautiful song, Stardust. And yet it's so beautifully sad. And so today we're going to talk about the science and soul of love's desire. So, what is it about the journey we take where we tap into an energy? You're going to hear what Kathryn Richer has to say about this today, especially on the show, Richer Within. But part of this is the energy of February and what it brings. And yet, I can go into rant right now about all you all doing a hate posts on social media about our ice skating guy, but I won't. Kathryn, let's talk about February and how do I want to break out in the love boat?
You can do the love boat if you want
Oh
to.
my
You can
gosh, I'm
do the
such a
love boat. We can talk
okay.
about the origins of Valentine's Day. We can talk about poetry and philosophy and science and all the movies and all the music. You know, Dr. Pat, though, in the end, what really matters is our personal experience of love. It rises above all of that. And so I'm going to share a few of mine, and I'll sprinkle in a little bit of philosophy and science, of course, and some stardust. And I'm going to start with my very first mystical experience of deep love. I was, I went to a youth retreat, and in the background, I didn't realize they were doing this. The staff had gathered letters. They called it caritas, which is basically love letters from people that knew us and loved us. And so they wrote us these love letters. And at some point, they distributed all these, but they couldn't find mine. And well, after a while, they did. And I took mine out into the forest. I left everybody at lunch, and I opened all my love notes. And I read every single one of them, and I had the most profound feeling of love. And I could actually see everyone around me. I could see them, including Jesus. And I was very Christ-centered at the time. And it's actually beyond words how I felt. I bathed in that for the longest time. I'm not even sure I told anybody when I went in again because it was so beyond words. And it's a beautiful story about the power of giving love, of expressing love to others. You know, there was no distance there. Even though they had written these letters some time ago, there's no distance. I felt it. And the impact can be more profound than we can ever imagine when we express love and when we give love. I can see myself in that forest surrounded by that in this very moment. And even today, when I read a handwritten note from someone, which is kind of a lost art, I feel, I have a practice of envisioning that person writing that note to me. And it brings them to me right then in that room where I can see them and I can feel them as they write their love letter to me. So that was such a beautiful,
Hmm.
beautiful experience. We're like friends and we're family in the same room. And so I'd like to talk now a little bit about friendship and a deep experience in friendship that I had. Love and Valentine's Day. I actually have a lot of friends who now say Happy Day of Love and Friendship.
Hmm.
And some of my gal friends say Happy Galentine's Day.
I like
Yeah,
that.
that one was new to me, but I like it. And the very famous philosopher Friedrich Nietzsche felt that the highest form of human bond was not romantic love, but it was actually friendship, which he believed could inspire its mutual growth and really help each other strive towards our highest potential. And he actually wrote, it's not a lack of love, but a lack of friendships that makes unhappy marriages. Chew on that one for a little bit. And I'll share an experience that I had with a very dear friend of mine who I've known now for 40 years. And we have a connection, one of those that is beyond words. And we always have.
I get it. I get that.
Hmm. How many of us have those long-term friendships that you
Not a
get
lot.
together, right? No time has passed,
Right.
and, and then you're together and drop right in. And that's what happened when he visited me. We'd never had a
Oh,
romantic relationship. It was always platonic. And yet there is always this unspoken love for each other. So we had coffee here at my house, and he's a very deep person, very deeply spiritual person. And we talked of all of those things. And just in his presence, I feel this unconditional acceptance. This, it's, again, it's quite beyond words.
yeah.
He's deeply present. And I feel like he can see into my soul, and I feel vulnerable in a way, but also safe, and in a way that I really want to share those types of things with him that I don't share with a whole lot of other people. And, I felt emotional for days after he left, even when I shared that experience with my friends, and I was very teary. Even saying I love you to someone like that feels a little shallow. Because again, that is beyond words, that mystical love is that love and that connection that is quite beyond a description. And so now I know that this exists because I've experienced it with this person for so long. And for me, it serves as a model to build that intimate
Yes.
relationship with someone, to base it on that type of friendship and that type of connection that is much more sustaining than the fleeting chemical-based romance. Yeah.
Yeah. It's fleeting and it's the depth. See, what I hear you talking about is a depth that cannot be explained. And a couple things that I just want to mention to people. When we're talking about a mystical experience, I want everybody to understand a few things. I do believe that everyone has these.
Yeah.
I also believe that we're just not awake to know we're having them. You and I have something very, very similar in common. My relationship with Jesus at a very young age, at age 6, having to do the stations of the cross brought me to an understanding of pain. And I didn't understand. At 6, you don't know what they're talking about in Catholic Church, or you don't get it.
Yeah.
But that same pain has carried through my life. And even to this day, what shows the shadow of love evaporating is to watch somebody that is that deep in your heart, like you just described, deep in your heart, go through painful experiences by others. And this show today and talking about it, this is what we need to make sure does not vaporize. So, your message and this visit from your friend, and then your experience with your friend, it's at a soul level that you can't really use words to define.
Hmm.
Emotions don't do it. You know what I'm saying? We use the
Hmm.
word love.
Hmm.
But let me ask you this. There's something called unconditional love,
Mm-hmm.
where acceptance never has to be said.
Mm-hmm.
It's there. And that is an intimate companion for you. I have a best friend, and you just described this for me, right? In the best way you could.
Mm-hmm.
What
Mm-hmm.
a very beautiful experience you're sharing today. Thank you.
Mm-hmm. It's a gift, and it's that sustaining love, that foundational love that we know we can always go to that person no matter what kind of Twitter twerping we're doing around ourselves in a situation, that we are accepted. We are accepted of them. And I feel like that kind of where romance kind of can fall short because we are really projecting ourself onto another person. We are mirrors to each other, and that's the beauty and the depth possible in relationship as serving as mirrors when we're able to be non-judgmental and we are able to be accepted, right? Whereas the romance, oh my gosh, that love cocktail is so strong and so intoxicating. Sting has a line in one of his songs called "The Intoxication of the Fall." Like those neurotransmitters that are released when we fall in love are like a hit of cocaine. Literally, they've studied that. It has the same impact on the brain. Yeah. And so it's fun and probably irrational. And I'm not dissing romance, believe me. Bring me flowers, chocolates, I love it. Romance, I'm all about it. And at the
Yeah.
same time, we have an opportunity once those chemicals wear off, because they do over time. They change in our minds and they change in our bodies, and they turn more into, if we can stick past the romance failing, not failing, sorry, the romance fading and realize it's headed for a deeper potential for connection, which is what it's all about, right? And that connection, then when we are able to releases around hormones actually of trust
Yeah.
and of comfort and of contentment and of a security that's not the attachment security, which
Hmm.
is, attachment security, that's an oxymoron in and of itself, that we tend to fall into, right, in romantic relationships. And we fall in and out of love, and relationships that have that sustainment, they will last, and others, they will likely disintegrate or they'll be miserable, right?
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah.
There are signs. I love this conversation we're having because what it talks about is what the opportunities are that we have to really go deeper in this earth skin.
Yeah.
You see, we don't have to wait. That's what you're describing. We don't have to wait to be at that place. We're so fully present in the earth skin we're in to really appreciate what you're saying. But when you're in one of those relationships you just described. Look, I've been to therapy for every relationship except the longest one I've ever had. And I'm not a good patient.
Mhm.
I'm not patient. Is that what we call? I'm not a good client. But I went to therapy because I wanted to make it work. But I remember one time a very cool therapist sat there and asked us both questions. And then the question to me was, well, when you think about la, 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 what song comes to mind? And out of my mouth came Sympathy for the Devil and by the Rolling Stones. And in that moment, I realized that I could be in love, but not like somebody.
Mhm.
And I think that's what we're talking about. You see, the deepest relationships I have are with people that I'm friends with and have
Mhm.
been friends with. And we lose sight of what you so beautifully pointed out. I'm like you, I'm a romantic. If you forget an anniversary or like I'm buying the roses just for me. But then again, is there depth in what we're experiencing? See, what you just
Mhm.
shared with your friend, there aren't words for that.
Mhm. Mhm. And that's okay. You know, that's okay. It's the feeling. It's the feeling. And I want to share one more story, one more, the biggest Valentine I ever got in my whole life, because it wraps this up. And that is a couple years ago, I had been feeling like there was a veneer over my heart. I was having trouble accessing my emotions. And I woke up on Valentine's morning and there was this beautiful blanket of snow, like Cupid's signature all over it. And it called me literally into the forest. I'm going for a walk. And so I'm walking through the forest and these summer camp songs came to me. And one particular, ask and it will be given unto you. I'm like, well, you know what? I've got something I want to ask you, universe. This stuff about love. Oh, love is all there is, and love is the reason for our being, and God is love, and love is love, and blah, 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 blah. I'm like, really? If this is all true, if love is the source of our being, really, how do I feel it? How do I know it beyond my mind? And in that second, I was transported to the beginning of time as we know it. Right. And then the universe expanding. And I saw everything spinning from that into new, into newness, into planets and galaxies and stars that burst and make more stars and more galaxies and and me. All through 13 billion years of evolution, 14 into me. And the words that came to me in the forest were, I am a form of love's desire born. I am a form of love's desire born. Feeling of love connection. I've never felt anything more profound than that. Absolutely. You know, this elemental force that animates the universe, an energy that sets everything in motion. I am born of that. Every one of us is. We are all born of love's desire. We are stardust. We are spun from that stardust into light, into the light that we are. And the common thread is connection. We feel connected, not just with me. That was not just a feeling of me feeling connected with me, the universe, is with everyone and everything. And that's the Valentine. That is, you are the Valentine to the universe, and it is the Valentine to you in every single way that it expresses. And through this connection, the tendency of everything to come together, and people and planets and galaxies to connect in this way. And, you know, perhaps love is that gravitational force that brings everything and everyone together.
There is a deep, innate understanding of love from before birth. There really is. And we have such ability to experience it and show it. So help us understand how to practice this more in the real world. Because this morning when I woke up, I had such mixed emotions. I had to
Yeah,
hold back from my own social media post
yeah,
because I don't understand hate.
yeah,
And the language that went out to the ice skater that didn't perform his best was unconscionable to me. I'm not done with that.
yeah.
And I'm certainly not done with it after today's show because we can share love. So, how do we best do this, Kathryn?
We begin with a recognition that love starts within ourselves. It's not out there somewhere. It's within ourselves. It's at the very heart of our being. We also recognize that there's a reciprocal nature to love. There is a giving and there is a receiving. You know, are we aware of when someone is actually trying to love us? however they're expressing it, appreciation, a compliment, a gift. And it's also, as in everything else that we talk about, Dr. Pat, on this show, it's about practicing being aware in the moment. You're being aware of your feelings around that and honoring your feelings around that. That is a starting place. Feeling love for yourself and compassion in yourself in that place. Even when it's hard, compassion, when we see people do things that are very, very unloving. How can we find a place of compassion for that? Perhaps that's a projection of their own insecurities of what they haven't been able to do in the world. And there's actually a really beautiful meditation practice, a Buddhism practice called metta meditation, and it's loving kindness. You can look up how to do it online. It's a very simple, well, the steps are simple. The practice really helps us get there and really, really gels in that feeling for us, a wholehearted wish for the welfare and the happiness of all beings, starting with ourselves and then extending to others. It can be as simple as a touch. We all need touch. Humans can die without touch, and particularly babies, they die from failure to thrive. They can. And we used to have healing services at camp, and these kids, all of them, even the toughest in senior camp, the guys, they would go to the ministers in the front with a beautiful lake in the background, and just having someone's warm hands on their heads with love, with their own hands over their hearts, they would just weep. I wept every time. We all wept together. And I know now what that was. That was that loving touch. We can give it to ourselves if we feel comfortable doing that, right? We can touch each other, and we can allow ourselves to be touched, to be that love in the world, regardless of how it shows up that looks like not love. That is a misdirection and a misuse of the power of love. How about showering him with compassion? We can do that. That's what we have the power to do in any moment, regardless of what anybody else is doing. Be that love. Be that love that we want, and that is our spiritual birthright. For absolute sure, we are love's desire born. Let's be that together.
Kathryn, I want to make sure this is not just a conversation. This is your life's work and passion is to work with others and really get to that deep place of healing, that deep place of unlimited possibilities. What is the best way for people to get in touch with you?
Go to my beautiful website at richerwithin.com. You can also find me on Instagram. And yes, it's my joy to journey,
Mm.
to walk each other home. It's what we're here to do, is to walk each other home to love. Yeah. Do I have time for a really quick spiritual mind spa
You got
treatment?
about, I think Emily would tell you, you have about 60 seconds, maybe 90. Go for it.
All right. If you can, enter a space to close your eyes if it feels safe, and place your hands on your own heart. Simply feel the pulse of your heart and know that this pulse is the pulse of all of life. It is the pulse that brought you here. It is the pulse that is the source of your being and your reason for being. Know that you are loved. Know your potential and your capacity to love, and be loved in return. Know that you are spun from stardust into light. You are a light to the world. You have the courage to walk that path of love. We have that. We are it. And we step into that power. We step into that presence, and we step into that love. And in gratitude for this love that sustains us, it is the ground of our being, is with us right now and is unconditionally saying yes. We simply let it be, and we allow it to be. We receive this love. And so it is. We are blessed.
And so it is. Thank you so much for that. And for all of you out there, a very powerful message today. I want to invite each and every one of you to think about what's in your heart and reach out. Reach out. We have seen so much discord, and we can change that. Reach out. If you're out at a restaurant, thank somebody. If you're not there and you're thinking about what to post, post something of love. Maybe listen back to this recording and share what Kathryn has shared, because the message, that connection, is indescribable in human language. But you know, Kathryn shares it, I share it, and I know you all share it. Just take a minute to be it. We'll see you next time.
Namaste. Thank you for investing in yourself by listening to Richer Within with me, Kathryn, and Dr. Pat. Continue this journey with us every third Monday at 11 a.m. Pacific on Transformation Talk Radio. Feeling inspired? Visit richerwithin.com to explore one-on-one sessions, speaking engagements, and supportive services with me. Together, let's co-create a world that uplifts everyone through deeper living and conscious presence. Until next time, and always, align with your inner wealth of wisdom. Wow.